will have a knowledge as to who the person is. If it is not him, who then the person is that was drafting this letter that was going to the Chief of Staff and eventually been signed by the Minister. And on the 1st of January, while all of you, January 2025, while South Africans are celebrating the New Year, Bonan Mokhotsi informed Mr. Madlanga that he will be meeting with Minister Mchunu and DNC Lieutenant General Sibiya. The text reads as follows. Good day, I have arranged a meeting for Sibiya and the Minister. Must have a solution. So this is the 1st of January 2025. The context of these meetings that must be arranged, I do not know. But you can begin to see that there is a link between the Minister and General Sibiya and perhaps Kat Madlanga, because he is talking about that is going to be arranging these meetings. So later that evening, this was around about 22 minutes to 11 in the evening, Mokhotsi sent another message to Brown indicating that this is the 1st of January, Commissioners, in the evening.
General, apologies. Yes, I was correcting that.
To Kat, not to Brown.
I beg your pardon?
You said he sent it to Brown. I'm saying
Mokhotsi sent it to Madlanga.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. They sometimes confusing me. Forgive me, Commissioners. Yes, Brown Mokhotsi sent a message at 22:38 in the evening. He sends it a WhatsApp to Madlanga indicating that the task team that came to your house and harassed you has been dissolved or disbanded. That's a message that is written by Mr. Mokhotsi to Mr. Madlanga.
In general, by this point, you still don't know.
We don't know anything.
You only came to know about it on the 2nd of January.
Exactly.
The disbandment decision, that is.
Exactly. And from the record, as we investigate, Commissioners, I can confirm most likely, I'm not saying that is the truth, that even the National Commissioner's Office that were recipient of the letter that was dispatched on the 31st, they received it late in the afternoon, I think after 4. So they're not really people working in the office by that time. It's a New Year's Eve. They're most likely not in the office, but that's when it was dispatched from the Chief of Staff to the office of the National Commission. But Brown Mokhotsi knows about it on a public holiday. And there's no one in the office. Then in the evening, he then sends this message to Kat Madlanga. So if I move forward, Commissioners,
you should now be at your paragraph 209.
Oh yeah, yes, Madlanga then gave a response. But his response was not on the 1st, it was the following day, the 2nd of January. And he wrote on his message response, oh really? I see you tried calling me last night. When is this happening? This is Madlanga asking Mokhotsi, and Mokhotsi responded on his WhatsApp. He says they got the letter on Monday. As we speak, they are bringing all the dockets to Sibiya. So I'm bringing this to the Commissioners, that this is a person who's not in the police. He already demonstrated, he sent me the copy of the OPs and the likes a year before. And now he's talking about the dismantlement of the units and the dockets that are moving to Sibiya. Although a couple of months later, General Sibiya write letters demanding these dockets must come from KZN and come up. So Mokhotsi already knew that it's going to happen. It's here and it's written.
Can I just confirm? So on the 2nd of January, if you would just remind us, on the 2nd of January, General Sibiya hadn't yet demanded the dockets.
No.
He said the 2nd of January.
Yeah. No, nobody. If this letter went out to the public first on the 2nd of January, that's when he became aware of it.
Yes.
And remember, I said the National Commission was not around. The letters came, I think, a month or so later.
Okay.
The first communication from General Sibiya, and the other communication that followed thereafter.
Thank you.
But the letter of the minister, which I want to draw the attention to of the commissioners, that the letter of the minister to disband the political killings task team addressed only 3 things. Which when we are investigating, we are dealing with drug operation in Gauteng. And we know these drugs are coming from outside the country, coming in here, they get processed and get distributed. Western Cape become one of the affected provinces because of these drug wars. But the letter of the minister addresses these 3 things. One of them, it's about the discussions that they must have on borders, border policing. There must be engagement with regard to border policing. We know that there is an agency that was established by government, and there is this discussion about moving some responsibility from the South African Police Service to Home Affairs in terms of border security. So, but this is what the minister is talking about. They need to address the border things. And the second item the minister is addressing on the letter is a suspension of the filling of position at crime intelligence. I don't know what of an interest is that, but he put a stop to the filling of vacancies at crime intelligence. That's why to date, there are a lot of vacancies that we have. The head of crime intelligence KZN has still not been appointed from that time when that one retired until now. The minister put a stop on the filling of vacancies. The third thing that is addressed on the letter is the closure of the political task team. He just talks about the close of the team, that it doesn't add any value in policing in our country. And it ends there. It doesn't say anything about the case dockets. It does not mention that these dockets must move from point A to point B. It doesn't say, it doesn't touch the dockets. He only speaks about the closure of the team. So that's what the letter is. That's why the surprise when Mkhoti's message seems to suggest that Spear, the dockets have been brought to Spear. And to confirm that this Mkhoti, I think he wanted to give assurance of his knowledge of this correspondence, that Mkhoti forwarded that letter of the disbandment of the team, which is signed by the Minister of Police. He forwarded that letter to Madlanga. So he sent him the letter that's supposed to be internal letter from the Minister of Police to the National Commissioner, signed on the 31st, and the first is a holiday. The second, Brian Mkhoti has the letter, and he sends this letter to Ket Madlanga.
How did he do that? Did he attach it to the WhatsApp?
He attached it to the WhatsApp. So I must indicate, as I conclude on this one, that at the time, neither myself, the National Commissioner, or the project manager, Jaro Kumalo, knew about this decision to close. So it is something that the team picked it up when they are continuing the investigation. Had we not arrested this Ket Madlanga and have access to that phone, we probably might not have known about this. So this is just to display the level of connectivity that Brian Mkhoti has in the police. Well, he said it in public, that, which is on the record on TV, that he was with a part of the operation to bring Thabo Bester into the country. He said that. And I know that Jarkhan was in that operation too. So it's something on the side that will need to be checked, that I don't want to delve into. The special task force were in that operation too. That flew over to that country, although they didn't get off the plane. They picked up these people and they came back. So how that operation was done, how was it coordinated? But it was not authorized by Gerald Kumar as the Divisional Commissioner of Crime Intelligence, for sure. So I'm not going to delve into that. But Brian Mkhoti maybe is invited here. He will have to explain this involvement that he has, because he's not registered as a source in the police, but he has access to everything in the police. So I'm at 2 and 3, so I'm not sure should I move on.
And that's the conclusion of your testimony as regards the executive. However, when we're dealing with, I think, business people yesterday, we stood down some paragraphs because they involved Mr. Mkhoti as well, and we said we'll deal with them today. And you should pick it up from paragraph 240 at page 74 of your statement. So it will be 240 to 242.
Okay. Again, commissioners here, as a team, because they've extracted a lot of information, and one of the conversation that is there between Bran Mokhotsi and Kat Matlala on the 26th of January, Bran Mokhotsi sends a message to Matlala reminding him to submit his invoice. So from the intelligence gathering, commissioners, I'm informed that Matlala did provide a proof of his invoice that was submitted, and the payment that was supposed to be made to him from the SCPS contract that he had with the South African Police Service to be expedited. And after that, Mokhotsi sends a screenshot of his conversation with the Minister Mchunu, including that he plans to have a meeting with the Deputy National Commissioner, General Sibia, and the Chief of Staff, Mr. Nkabinde, to discuss the finalization of Khumalo and Jaram Kwanazi matters. This is a conversation they are having, the two of them. That, yes, there are two General Mkwanazis in the police. It's myself and the one who's acting in Mpumalanga. One might conclude that maybe they are talking about the one in Mpumalanga, but it is a team of KZN that is involved with investigation in Gauteng. That's why I concluded that it's me that has been discussed here. I do not know what discussions they are having, but there is a communication that is attached, commissioners, there and annexed to our document.
Let me assist you there, General. At page 75, it's a blue screenshot. However, we've updated your file's overleaf as the enlarged version of it. That would be page 75.1 for easier reading. Thank you.
Commissioners, this is available. I don't have to read everything that is there, but this is just an indication of the communication about the meetings that are in Durban. What is of an interest on these commissioners, as I read it, is that in the message that he sends is that he is in Durban and is talking about a Phoenix saga, which relates to a lady, and that was just a question mark as to what Phoenix saga is there, which is part of what the team is investigating. There's something that was happening in Durban that he was communicating with the minister about. But in the end of that conversation, that's where he brings me, if you go towards the bottom, that's where he's talking about the employment of cybersecurity people that are supposed to assist. I do not know what his involvement with the cybersecurity, but it is there. And that's where, in the same conversation, he makes a reference to the funding. And as General Kumar and team are going to come here, they're going to show you that he had facilitated the funding of the guest of the Minister of Police when they attended the ANC rally in Cape Town. There's receipts, there's proof, there's hotel accommodation, and there are many things that the team has collected that they're going to come here and display. But I was just extracting this and I wanted to focus on the last paragraph when he says also meeting with the DNC and the Chief of Staff today in Durban for finalization of Khumalo and Jaram Kwanazi's matter. That drew my attention as to what is it that they are planning, what is it that they are discussing, which a conversation happened in January, as I said, of 2025. As an extract from the WhatsApp.
General, you say this is a screenshot found in Matlala's phone.
That's correct.
And sent to him by Brown Mokhotsi.
Yes.
So it's not found in Brown Mokhotsi's phone.
No. We have not gone to Brown Mokhotsi because the investigation The team is dealing with the cases that are before them. And the cases that are before them involve Kat Matlala. We have not registered any case against Brown Mokhotsi. So he's not a suspect of anything. That's why you couldn't just go to him at the time and conduct a search and pick up things, because we'll be victimizing people. Why would you do that if there's no case? We have no reason to go after him. So, but as we are picking up these things, we then see this communication. And I must indicate, commissioners here, if you look at the top of that screenshot, Brown Mokhotsi have served the person that he was communicating to when he made a screenshot as Senzo Mchunu. It is Brown Mokhotsi that I guess is going to be invited to indicate who did he save with the name Senzo Mchunu. It could be someone else. I'm not saying that it's a minister. He might have used the minister's name, but he served someone else. But I guess the evidence is going to be produced on this. We'll be able to investigate and determine who will he save as a Senzo Mchunu.
So the greeting, though, does say morning minister, but
exactly.
That does not necessarily detract from what you have just said.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that if he comes and denies that that is not Senzo Mchunu, it's someone else. But then if he addressed morning minister, it could be another minister that is saved as Senzo Mchunu. So as we connect the dots, this is a picture that is appearing. That, okay, there's this relationship. And again, we haven't gone to Brown Mokhotsi's phone. We have not gone to Minister Senzo Mchunu's phone. Equally so, to check these conversations. So I think that's just about everything.
You had touched, General, on a question of funding. I just want to check, is it what's reflected at item 2 of that message? Is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about something else?
That is correct. So the conversation here that talks about the funding of 20, we really didn't know what is funding of 20, because we know the people that were funded earlier in January, they were less than 20 that went to Cape Town. The flights were booked and everything, paid off by Kat Matlala.
Yes.
And so this discussion about the funding of 20, and to make a reference that this person is the one I said has a 3 billion contract with SAPS. We know, I don't know whether there's a 3 billion contract somewhere. I know that Kat Matlala had a contract with SAPS of 360 million rand. So I do not know what is a 3 billion contract is, but these are conversation screenshot that he sends to Kat Matlala.
We will pick it up with another witness. Better clarity will be provided then. Is there anything else you would like to draw the commissioner's attention to insofar as this screenshot is concerned?
Of Brown Mokhotsi?
Yeah, insofar as Brown Mokhotsi is...
No, commissioners, for me, I conclude that the minister invited this Brown Mokhotsi, or he shared too much of the police things with a person who's not supposed to be part of the police. And this Brown Mokhotsi seems to suggest that from reading of everything, that he has a real influence to the minister. Or the minister has an ear to this Brown Mokhotsi, so he's able to speak things and to the minister, for minister to believe, and he knows what's happening in the police, but not only at the minister's office. He also knows what's happening with the investigations, indication that him and General Sibiya have contacts, and he seems to have access to come intelligence. That's why he will bring Jar Khan to the picture. So this is a person that we know that if he claims he went to Tanzania, he will have perhaps been a compound of Jar Khan. So it's a person that has wide range of access into the police, classified information, everything. So he's allowed to dictate terms in how the policing must operate. So if this team did not investigate this Gauteng drug cartel, will not have picked up these things. So it's the picture then becomes clear that, the lack of disbanding the team, perhaps it had to do with this. But I'm not a minister. The minister will come and conclude and explain himself. Why will he last meet with the initial commissioner on Saturday, and 3 days later he signed such a letter? That is very critical in the operations of the police, without talking to the initial commissioner directly.
Please make me understand this. If the issue was about Gauteng, so I assume it's the GCI ops
That's correct.
What's being disbanded is the PKTT, which, even though it operates in other areas like the Eastern Cape, for example, its focus is KwaZulu-Natal. Now, I hear nothing about, for example, the 10 members, was it 10, I think, that were sent up to assist the GCI ops. I hear nothing that says, and they must be removed from Gauteng and back to the disbanded PKTT. Now, if my thinking along those lines is correct, the question would be, if the issue is about Gauteng and the GCI ops, how does that get disrupted if what is now being disbanded is the PKTT in KwaZulu-Natal?
Commissioner, it is exactly that which triggered my involvement in this. I was minding my business in KZN as a province. I had sent members to go and assist the GCI ops. I started getting reports of what's happening in the GCI ops. And I started getting myself being attacked by some journalists in the media, putting my stories out there. And I started asking questions, why are these things happening? So as I track back and I'm getting these reports from what this team is doing in Gauteng, and I started connecting the dots and the picture started emerging. They invited me into this thing, commissioners. Had they left KZN with a team like that and dealt with the GCI ops, perhaps I wouldn't be sitting here today. But they invited me into the picture because you are disbanding something that's operating in KZN. That is where I'm responsible for. And you're not giving me the reasons. And I'm trying to reach out to find out what is the reason, and I'm not getting answers. So I keep having question mark as to why, what made you sign this letter? Why are you disbanding this team? Why is it bothering you? And then when I hear what they are doing, those ones in Gauteng, then the confirmation is that it's a missed target. They were worried about the people carrying the dockets in Gauteng. And this country owes the two sergeants, very junior members, who started this fire in Gauteng. They don't sleep at home to date. Their families are disrupted. They started this fire in Gauteng. And Kumalo took a responsibility of protecting them with the team from KZN. I suspect that the people that wanted to deal with this too, they could not access them because there was this KZN squad around them. So in thinking that they're seeing the KZN squad, they assume that it is the political killings task team that is running this operation. So to disband the team, you'll see the messages, the instructions of General Sibiya's letter says, shut down members must go back to their units and get every file, every evidence that is in that file. Bring it here. So the interest was on stopping the investigation, and the people that they see in their face is the political killings task team, the 10. They are not aware of a GCI ops. The people that bring the GCI ops into the surface are people within crime intelligence, because the GCI ops operates at crime intelligence. It's a counterintelligence operation. I had said earlier, General Khan was acting there and was moved. So this operation is running without him part of it. So it is people from crime intelligence that knows about the operation. That only brings it to the fore. But before the letter, those that maybe influence the minister, they thought it is a political killings task team. That's why with us having displayed the performance of the team, the meritorious experts of these worlds, academias, who took an opportunity to talk bad about the team, being influenced by people, will come to this forum and explain where did they get this information from. If the performance is like this, and you are writing this correspondence of saying this team is Tele squad, fighting squad, and so forth.
So do I understand you to be saying this, General? There were no instructions at the time of disbandment and even at the time of General Sibiya's letter that related to the GCI ops and the 10 officers from KZN who had gone up to Gauteng to assist. No instructions at all related specifically to the GCI ops and to the 10 who had gone up to assist.
Chair, if I may, before the witness responds, General Mkhwanazi referenced letters where he spoke of the instruction to bring all investigations and what happens to all members of the task team. May I be permitted to direct him to the documents?
May I get that more directly, please?
Okay.
Because the broad statement that all members must go, it could only have been to those who are on the ground servicing the PKTT as such, and not those that may have left KZN and were in a sense not really servicing the PKTT. So,
Chair, I think what we should do.
I'm not countering what you are saying.
Because it all depends on the wording. It could very well be those who are members of PKTT go back to their respective stations wherever they are located at the time.
Let's get clarity from this.
Now, General, if you please go to Annexure MK10. That would start at your page 187. And at the same time, if you could have regard to the second part of MK10, starting at page 190. Those are the two letters you have included, signed by General Sibia. If you have located them, please start at page 188. And I think what you reference in terms of investigations and records is at paragraph 5, and it's sub-paragraphs. Then the second letter is the one at 190 is the one that speaks to what must happen to PKTT members.
Okay, Commissioners, this letter is annexed. It's dated the 4th of February 2025. It is authored by Deputy National Commissioner, Lieutenant General Sibia. He addressed this thing to the Divisional Commissioner, Detectives and Forensic Service. Paragraph 5 reads as follows, I quote, "In compliance with the aforementioned directive of the Minister of Police, you are directed to engage with the Divisional Commissioner of Crime Intelligence with a view to do a proper handing over and to follow all processes necessary to conduct a handing over process. This includes, but not limited to, 5.1, a status report of all cases. 5.2, a case register wherein all the cases were recorded and current status of court-going cases and cases under investigation. 5.3, all cases or projects, documentation relevant to the political killings task team. This should include all evidential material, documents, electronic recordings, etc. It must be booked into the SCP-13 or in possession of the team or stored in any storage facility. 5.4, all human and physical resources allocated, listed, as well as report on all financial expenditure for the duration of the operation of the task team."
Then you go to the second letter, that's on page 190. And in particular, I apologize.
Please repeat what.
It's because I knock it and then it distorts the sound. I was referring you, General, to the letter starting at page 190, still part of MK10, and I was saying to the point, perhaps you might want to have regard to paragraph 3 thereof.
This is a letter that was written by General Sibia on the 22nd of April 2025. It is addressed to the Divisional Commissioner of Crime Intelligence as well as Divisional Commissioner Detectives and Forensic. The headings, the deactivation and disbandment of the National Task Team on Political Killings. Paragraph 3 says, reads as follows: a final feedback report on the finalization of this process, including confirmation that all task team members have reported back to their stations of origin. is awaited on or before the 25th of April 2025. End quote.
I don't know if that answers your questions, Chair, or whether you'd want General Mkhwanazi to comment further. Thank you.
Maybe it does, but I would imagine it has to be read in the context of the letter of the 4th of February.
Indeed.
From which I understand everything relates to what the PKTT as such was involved in. So in that context, that would not necessarily mean that everything is being killed, as it were. But if you read the paragraph that the Lieutenant General just read, then it may indeed be read.
But may I also...
It may be read to refer to everybody, because if it says all members must go back to wherever they came from,
and I think
then I would imagine maybe it means that even those that were assisting the GCI ops must...
Perhaps it might assist if I remind the commissioners of...
just for the transcription, let's avoid it.
Apologies, Chair.
So must be uprooted and go back from wherever they came.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Chair. My apologies. And I was going to say that the points that the Chair makes are very correct. But I wanted to remind us of the testimony of General Mkhwanazi yesterday regarding the secondment of the members of the task team and his ongoing engagements with General Khumalo to determine when it is they could get back to the task team. So in the context of them being expected, the secondment to end and to revert to KZN, at least I read the instruction at page 190 that all members of the task team go back to their respective stations. General Mkhwanazi had indicated that the members of the task team come from various stations and are registered with various stations in KZN. So an instruction that each one of them report back to their stations, I would think by definition extends to those deployed to the GCI ops. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Mr. Law, I was going to ask this question of the General just to get clarity on that.
Yes, Commissioner.
General, in the time that your 10 members of the task team were seconded to the GCI ops, did they remain members of the task team in the time that they are in Gauteng and assisting General Khumalo?
That is correct, Commissioners. These are members that were part of the task team that moved up to Gauteng.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Chair, you covered. Thank you.
I just wanted to check, do we have the letter dated 17/01/2025?
The one that is referred to in the letter of 22nd. No, we don't. This, if you recall, this would have been directed to the Divisional Commissioner Crime Intelligence. So it would have, if it were utilized, it would have come before this one in terms of date-wise, but it's not part of General Mkhwanazi's annexures at this juncture. But to the extent that perhaps it might be necessary to complete the scene on this conversation, we will ensure that the next witness, and perhaps the Crime Intelligence Divisional Commissioner, General Khumalo, to ensure that it is in his pack. And at the time of dealing with the issue, then we will cross-reference these annexures. Thank you. Chair, on a statement, we would have completed this part of the evidence, and we're just completed paragraph 242, which would then take us to 243. Generally, paragraph 243, you start a different topic under the heading political interference. Do you see that?
Yes.
You start this at 2:43. Will you take your testimony, pick it up from there, remembering when you go over, leave to skip page 75.1. It would continue then at page 76.
Okay.
When you're ready, thank you.
Thank you so much. Commissioners, this is just to display the level of involvement or intervention that the minister has, or interference that the minister has with regard to the work of the police, which is inappropriate of a person on his level. On this political interference, what I'm displaying here, Commissioners, is that the task team minister issued an instruction in December. And the task team continues to work in KZN. And an incident happens after his instruction on the in February, Commissioners, where a councillor is killed in KZN.
And once again, for the record, please give the year of that February. And I think you are talking about what you set out in paragraph 244 of your statement.
Yeah, that's correct. An incident happens in 2024 February where a councillor is killed. And the police arrested two hits.
General, yes.
You said 2024. Your statement reads differently.
2025, my apologies, Commissioner.
And in fact, your paragraph of 244 has got the full date. Perhaps you just might want to take that into consideration.
Okay, on the 5th of February, 2025, after the shooting incident that had occurred in one of the small districts in KwaZulu-Natal, which is called the Lembe district. For those who are familiar, it's in around Palito side. A councillor was killed, Mr. Mapida, and two arrests were effected. The station, knowing the procedures that we have, that when an incident of this nature involves councillors, they must communicate with the political killings task team so that they can take over the docket. And the district commissioner directed as such, and that is Major General Gopal. Major General Gopal then contacted me and informed me about his engagement with the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mchunu.
Before you proceed, can you place into context Major General Gopal? Who is he? Where is he based? What station, if necessary, and his level within SAPS? If you perhaps have regard to paragraph 244.
Major General Gopal is the district commissioner of Ilembe district. So the incident that happened under his jurisdiction. So General Gopal experienced a situation where the minister calls him and you want to be briefed about the incident that happened. So the minister didn't bother to phone the National Commission or phone me, but he phones the district commissioner to ask about that incident that involved the matter of a council. And General Gopal responded to the minister and explained to him what has transpired and so forth. And then he indicated to him that the case docket has been referred to the political killings task team for investigation. And according to General Gopal, the minister was very unhappy about this. And he asked, why did they give the case docket to the political killings task team? And the General Gopal explained to the minister that this is a standard procedure that we have. The political killings task team, they are better resourced. They've got an investigation capacity and contacts to help investigate the cause of this murder and the people behind it. So the minister had wanted Gerald Gopal to keep him up to date about the status of that investigation, although he was upset about the fact that that docket was given to the political killings trust team. So here's a minister who's upset to the district commissioner about who's carrying the docket, instead of appreciating the work done by the police, that they've arrested the perpetrators. But that is not of an interest to the minister. What makes him upset, more focused, is why is the docket given to the trust team? This will have been on the 5th of February. And again, on the 15th of February, the minister reached out to Gerald Gopal and seeking update. And Gerald Gopal then indicated that the information about the status of the case is with the investigating officer from the political killing task team. The least he can do is to send those investigating officers to brief the minister about the status of this case that he was asking Gerald Gopal, because Gerald Gopal is not carrying that investigation. But the minister then responded to Gerald Gopal and said, no, he is covered, which means he does not need that political task team to come and brief him. And Gerald Gopal has deposited an affidavit about that interaction that he had with the minister, which is attached on our records here marked MK21 as a reference. So,
before you proceed, two things, Chair. MK21 is the affidavit, typed affidavit. So it doesn't have signature at the back. We're trying to track down the original affidavit from, which this was transcribed. That goes to page 331. And beyond that is another document that I'm going to request the witness to explain. And then he can speak to the annexure in its totality. General, you understand that the affidavit annexed purportedly by Major General Gopal in your annexure is not signed, correct?
yes.
And attached to that is another document appearing from page 333, which you have combined with that affidavit. I would like to invite you to talk to the second document from 333 and explain to the commissioners what that is.
This is a communication between Gerald Gopal and the Minister of Police as extracted, which reflects the date, the time, a message from the minister, a response from Gerald Gopal, a message from the minister, and a response from Gerald Gopal. And it starts from the 5th of February, and it goes down the page as the commissioners will appreciate that the last conversation, it is almost at the end of March where the communications are happening.
I see on this document, it interchanges between Minister Mtunu, such that it would indicate missed voice, and Anthony on the other. Who is Anthony, do you know?
I beg your pardon, I didn't get it.
If you look at page 333.
Yes.
Let's look at the first entry. It states Minister Mtunu, and then it indicates messages and calls are end-to-end. Encrypted, only people in this chat can read, listen to, or share them. Then it once again references Minister Mtunu and Minister 3 times. The next entry, which is indicated as 5th of February 2025 at 13:33 and 55 seconds, against that is an entry, Anthony. You deleted this message. My question to you is, do you know who Anthony is?
Anthony, it's Major General Gopal.
Okay.
That is his name.
Thank you for the clarification. And then it continues until overleaf, I think, at page 334. You may proceed. With whatever further comments you wanted to make about this document.
No, the 334, I think, is still an extract from the conversation, the messages that are with General Gopal. It does not necessarily mean that they are with Minister Mkhunu per se. But it's part of conversation that is extracted from General Gopal. It shows the other communication, not necessarily only with the minister.
So how do we read this? Are you suggesting to the commission that from the first entry to about just past the halfway point of the page, I don't want to mention the name that is written there, everything above is a communication between Major General Gopal and the minister, but everything else below, you see there's a word in parentheses before an ID number. Are you suggesting everything below that now no longer involves the minister, but it's communication that is within Major General's telephone?
Commissioner, yes, this communication is not necessarily with the minister, but if you read the last message on 333,
Yes.
which is dated the 30th of March 2025 at 10:59 in the morning,
Yes.
where General Gopal, with the name Anthony, where he typed that minister, local branch may raise concern on candidate as from the charter I picked up, or the chat I picked up. Let me explain to the commission what this communication is about. This communication is not about the case of a councillor. And it's a culture of the experience we have as a police that when the executive authority is engaging on a political project, there's always black lines about focusing on political issues, but you want to bring the portfolio of being the executive authority and you invite the police to be part of this political program. What had happened here, there was going to be by-elections. A person who was a councillor had resigned from the position. And there was that person, for whatever reason they were having in that political party, he resigned and he joined another political party. So he was campaigning for another political party. So the minister then came into the area as a deployee of his party to assist the campaigning of another candidate to be elected. So part of his, when he arrived, he requested, actually he didn't even communicate with myself nor General Gopal, he communicated with the station commander. He said to the station commander he wants to meet the station management at the police station because he wants to ask them about a case. The case allegedly that involves the councillor that had resigned from this side and moved over campaigning for another political party. So the minister was entrusted to know what is happening with that case because this man has got a case. So, which means they wanted to make sure that he's arrested so he doesn't stand for the other party. So the minister called the station management. The station management communicated to General Gopal. General Gopal was sitting with me and he told me about it. And I said, I think you better go there. The minister cannot see it with the station management alone. Go there and find out what's going on. And at the same time, the station had already informed General Gopal on what the minister's specific cases that he wants them to come and account to him about. Remember, he came there for campaigning, for election. But he wants the station to come and explain to him about the status of the case against a competitor for the election. So the station must brief him about it. General Gopal obtained information with regard to the status of the case. So he went to a meeting. I guess the minister was surprised when General Gopal landed there. That the minister suddenly he meets General Gopal is not only a station